Yo, what the deal? It's your boy X.E.L. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you. Yes, you. Thank you for coming back. But if you are new here, please do me a favor and like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll let you know when I drop another video. We are on our way, on the roll to 20K subscribers. Thank everybody for stopping by, liking the videos, subbing to the channel, all that good stuff. I really appreciate y'all, and thank you. All right, and with that being said, today what we're going to do, we're actually going to be talking about Cakewalk Next. I know there's a lot of people talking about Cakewalk right now, especially seeing that the Sonar has a free tier, and guess what? Next also has a free tier as well. So if you are interested in Cakewalk Next, I'm going to kind of go through what Cakewalk Next is, how to actually get it, and some of the features that it actually has inside of it that may work for you. So let's get into it right now. All right, so here we are on the cakewalk.com/next page. So if you come to cakewalk.com, you'll see an option for Cakewalk Next and Cakewalk Sonar. Just click on Cakewalk Next and you will be on the Cakewalk Next side. All right, so Cakewalk Next, easy, turn your ideas into songs, and basically you get an option to get it for free. You can download it for Mac and you can download it for Windows. This is one of the only exceptions that they do have where you can actually use this DAW inside of a Mac. So if you have a Mac computer or Apple computer, you can actually download the Mac version of Cakewalk Next. Simple, plain, straight to the point. Right, so it gives you that option to do that. So basically you just click on whichever one you have, whether you have a Mac or you're on Windows. Usually if you click on Windows, it'll actually bring you to the product center, so you can actually download and get all the other stuff that you need for the DAW. So let me show you what that looks like real quick. All right, so this is the Cakewalk product center. So basically they are updating this so it'll have all the stuff that it needs for these DAWs. So if you want Cakewalk Next is here. You make sure you download it. You can make sure it's up to date, and you can reinstall it and show install locations, all that good stuff. So you have Cakewalk Sonar, which you can also download. Looks like there's an update available for it. I may actually have to do that. And there is one for BandLab as well. So you have option for BandLab, which is going away, sadly. I don't know if you guys watched my last video. I was telling you that Cakewalk by BandLab will be going away. So if you download it now, you'll probably have like 6 months, maybe. I think it was, I really do think it's going to be like 2 months that you have before it tries to activate again, and then it won't work anymore. So definitely, if you are on Cakewalk by BandLab, get Cakewalk Sonar. Right now they have a free tier for it, so you can actually open up your files and sessions and be able to listen to them and use them as need be, right? So this is what the Cakewalk Production Center is. So make sure you go to Cakewalk Next and download Cakewalk Next. Like I said, there's a free tier for it. So let's look at what that free tier actually installs. Let's go. All right, so here we are in Cakewalk Next. It's very, very simple and plain kind of DAW to actually use. I believe is meant for people who are not really into like a whole lot of mixing and mastering and like faders and things like that. It's just a person that likes to record or make beats, and that's it. It's not really made for that mixing, mastering, and deeper dive into the music. I believe this is just for those kind of starters, right? So with that being said, you have your splash or quick start screen. Right here, you can see I have the free license available. And if you want to get the membership, you can get the membership. This will pop up all the time on whether you're using whether you're using BandLab, Sonar, or Next. If you don't have the membership, this will pop up, right? So you have an option to create. You have a whole bunch of different creations that you can actually start off with. I think that's pretty cool. Give you a nice little starter. You have local projects that you can actually use. These are the projects that I've made. These are online projects. So if you are with BandLab Online, you can actually have them incorporated inside of Cakewalk Sonar or Cakewalk Next. And also Cakewalk by BandLab, while you still have the chance to do that, you can actually pull up your BandLab tracks and accounts through here as well, right? So you also have demo projects that they've had and your product updates, which looks like the THU, which comes with the membership. All right. So let's start. I'm just going to click on and create the regular one, right? So let's start off on this left hand side, let's go to files. So you have your files and open your projects, all this regular stuff that's in here. Here is the export the CXF file. So this is the new file that Cakewalk has created to incorporate with all the DAWs. So if you are on Next or if you're on Cakewalk Sonar, you'll have an option to save your files. And these are like specifically Cakewalk files to pull up on all these other DAWs. And I think that's pretty cool that you actually have that option on here, right? You can have publish to BandLab and export audio. Your edit, you have your processes down here to normalize, regular, copy, split, and duplicate stuff, right? And you have enable ripple edit, so you can do your ripple edits here as well. And here is your preferences. So let's click on preferences. Inside preferences, you have your audio. So you have your audio drivers. Whatever you have set up on here is what it'll actually be, right? Let's change this to mic line. All right. So basically, I'm just setting up the mic so that I'll be able to actually use this mic later on in this video, so I can show you and demonstrate that. All right. So here's the buffer size and your latency. All this good stuff in here. The file formats is in here. Default loop stretch behavior. So basically it'll automatically adjust to your DAW's tempo. So if you want to change that, you could change that here and you can put do not stretch if you don't want it to stretch, right? And you could detect the tip tempo on import. So basically whatever you import in here, it'll let you know what the tempo is and if you want to change it or not, right? Pretty cool. All right. Stop playback if audio drops out. Usually you want to probably have that on just so you can make sure that you're not getting any audio drops and stuff like that. Here is your MIDI options. So you have MIDI inputs that you can actually use. Right now I have my complete control set up, but I'm just using all the inputs. So whatever is connected to the computer should actually be in this list and be able to be used, right? So here are your plugins. So you have VST2s and your VST3s. So it'll automatically pull up inside of the DAW. I thought that was really cool. Here's your scan for plugins when you first start up. You don't have to do this, but it's an option that you do have. And you can always scan for plugins whenever you need to scan for your plugins. You can do your custom plugins location. So if you're not sure where your plugins are, like say your VST2s, they'll usually be splatted. They're usually all over your DAW unless you have them in one location. That's why I usually prefer the VST3s because usually just go to one folder. It doesn't go all over your computer. So, but if you do know where they are, you can actually put the location in here and put where it actually is going to be. You can open the editor, insert. You can hide the editor. You can open a plugin manager. So you have the option to open your plugin manager to see where all your plugins are and anything you have quarantined that's not really working well with Cakewalk Next, you can actually put in here inside the quarantine place, right? So here is your projects, and it'll basically tell you where your projects are going and where your loop cache is going. So basically any loops that you get from BandLab will actually go to this loop cache. I hope that makes sense. And you can always enable backup. So if you do need to back up your files, whenever you're creating, you can just hit the backup and turn that on as well. All right. And here is the display. So you can display like the numbers of the tracks on this side. All right. You can ignore device change notifications. Basically, that means like if you have your keyboard set up, which I do have my MK2 set up right now, you can actually have it to where it'll change things and notify you, right? You can auto hide the scroll when you're scrolling, which you probably will want to do if you're have a really big project and trying to focus on one thing. But yeah, so all those are in here as well. This is the part right here that I think is really cool, the shortcuts. So if you do need to change any of the shortcuts, you can change them right here. If there's something you want changed, you can have that option to change your shortcuts to make it however you want it to be inside this DAW. I thought that was really cool to actually have that option. And you can always reset it if you change something that you didn't want to change and revert back to the defaults is right there. Right. And diagnostics is basically sending this stuff over to Cakewalk if you have any issue. All right. So here we are inside the DAW. And we're going to go to the inserts. So basically this is a place you can insert audio tracks, instrument tracks, a sample track. And this is what's cool right here. This insert pad controller track. So you can actually have an option to do like a little drum machine inside of Cakewalk Next when they don't even have this inside of Sonar, which I don't understand why they don't yet, but hopefully, you know, they'll gravitate and put that in there as well. The insert, the sampler track is the X sampler. Instrument tracks is BandLab instruments. So if you ever used BandLab before online, they have a whole bunch of instruments inside there. Now all those instruments are inside of Cakewalk Next. Why they are not inside of Cakewalk Sonar, I have no idea. But I really do think they need to put all those instruments inside of Cakewalk Sonar as well, so that when you're actually moving tracks from Cakewalk Next into Cakewalk Sonar, you'll be able to pull those instruments over without having to convert them into audio and just leave them as MIDI files or whatever the case may be, right? All right, so you have instrument rack tracks. You have, this is something that is also inside of Sonar, so that's why you have the racks, because inside of Sonar, you have an option to use racks and also have an option to do track folders. So track folders are in Cakewalk Sonar as well, so you have them in Cakewalk Next. You can insert buses, so you have buses inside of Cakewalk Sonar, so you also have them inside of Next, so you can actually use them vice versa in either one of these DAWs. All right, so these templates are pretty cool, I would think, but I tried the vocal one and it shuts down Cakewalk Next. So I'm not sure if that's a glitch. I may have to report it, but anytime I've used any of these on here, it'll actually freeze it. If you want me to show you, I guess I just should. All right, so I'm going to use this large haul. And as you see, an unexpected error occurred and it's going to shut down. All right. And why that happens, I have no idea, but I just restarted it and it's back up. All right. So right now, templates are bad. So I haven't messed with these yet just because every time I've used them, it seems like it crashes the DAW. So there's that. All right. So let's go to view. And in view, you have a whole bunch of different things. You can show the piano roll. You can show the audio clips. You can show the lyric prompter, which is very interesting. Let's show this is like the lyric prompter. So basically down here, you can actually show the lyrics that you've actually made and it'll show up down here. And if it's playing, it's almost like a karaoke. It'll go down the line. I thought that was really, really cool that they actually added that in there, right? So I'm gonna take away that line prompter and let's see, what else do we have in here? Sidebar, which is this thing over here on the side. This is the sidebar where this BandLab stuff is. And you have an option for an inspector. So if you have like an instrument up, you'll see this stuff inside the inspector, but the browse is only for BandLab stuff, which I don't understand why they did it this way, where you can only use the BandLab samples in here. You can drag and drop files from outside of the DAW, but you want to listen to the sounds, you can't do it. Like there's no options in here to listen to the internal sounds of your computer, which I don't understand why that is the case, but it is. All right. So show BandLab sounds. You definitely want to do that to make sure you can see those. Show arranger inspector. So you have your arranger inspector still. You have your lyrics inspector. You have show the arranger track and show the lyric and show the tempo track. So all those are options that you have in here. Track heights. This is basically how you can make the whatever track height you want it to actually be. So then this is the track heights over here on this left hand side, right? Show project info editors. That's for the bottom down there. You can show the editor. You can show the virtual MIDI controller. So this is what it will look like. So this is the virtual MIDI controller. So if you have a typing keyboard, you can actually use this. I thought that was really cool as well. So that is a feature that some people may definitely be using. You can toggle your query to MIDI controller. I'm not 100% sure what that does, but it is an option. So I'm gonna turn that off because I'm not sure what that does. All right, so you can have the show aim assist. So basically that's the little line that shows you where you are on the track. You have your rulers, you have absolute time, and you have samples. So musical time is what I'm gonna leave it at. And playback options to give you an option to smooth scroll, which will play along with the track itself. I think that's pretty cool. So here you have your transport. So all these things show you shortcuts for your transport. You can toggle loop back with this button right here. Loop recording creates takes in track folders. Right, enable punch recording. You could toggle your metronome here and stop playback engine on dropout. Right, and then you also have your help where you can actually go and do your activation, and sign in or out is usually right here. But yeah, that's what the top, file stuff is for this one. Right, and over here you can edit your actual track that you're doing right now. Right here is the drop down to export the audio, or you can publish it to BandLab, either one. Right here is your metronome, and here is your metronome options that you have. So you could do it only on recording, only on playback, or both. Here's the strength of that actual metronome right here. Here's the tone, strong and weak. I believe they have other options. Yeah, so you can have a hi-hat one. You can do a 4 to the floor. You could do cowbells. So like it gives you an option to change that as well. I think that's pretty cool. Here's your output volume. And here is your tempo. And you can do a tap tempo if you wanted to, to tap. Right? And you just hit apply and it'll actually apply it to the track. If you wanted to change it yourself, if you wanted to change this, you can go up or down when you click on it. Let's just set this down to about, let's do 94. Leave it at 94 beats per minute, right? So, and we're going to turn on the metronome because you want to hear it. And then here is your option for a loop. So if you click on the loop, it'll set it for 8 bars. I believe that's a default. So I'm going to set it for 4 bars. You can go back to the beginning with this arrow here. Here is your play button, and here is your move forward button, right? So here is your record button, and you have a little drop down here for recording options. So I'm going to enable a count in so that I'll be able to hear the count in, and you can change your measures if you wanted to. You have a pre-roll audio, and you can actually mute after the count in so you don't have to hear it all the way through your track. You have an option to overwrite. You have takes to folder. So basically, if you keep doing them over and over, you have an option to put them all in a folder so you can chop them up later and use them. You have punch recording, and you also have overdub MIDI, which I have checked because I always overdub my MIDI. And here is your timer. So if you change this arrow to here, you can see the time moves to on third bar 1 of the third bar. So those are what that is right there. Here is your volume for the track, so you can monitor your sound, right? So you can mute it if you wanted to turn it off, and you have your option for your volume here as well. So this is for the browser sections. As you can see, it makes the browser disappear. You can click on it again and the browser will reappear. You have your inspector option and you have your browser option, which is all Cakewalk by BandLab sounds. And down here, as you can see, you need to get membership in order to actually use these inside of Cakewalk Next, which kind of defeats the purpose, like I was saying before. So you have loops and you have one shots. You can do different things from genres to instruments to moods and to the key as well. And you can play them down here and hear whatever sounds you're actually doing. So it's pretty interesting that they actually have this. So you have the loop to the project tempo. So if you turn this off, it won't loop to the project tempo. It'll just play whatever the tempo is of the sample, right? And it's telling you where your stuff is being sent out to, which is going out through the master. All right, so I believe that is all the buttons that are on here for this side. So this is your timeline right here. And this is how you can enable and disable ripple edits. So if you want to do a deeper dive into it, here's a little drop down for it. And this is to do like your bars, your beats and bars. So right now it's on adaptive so that it'll kind of adapt to whatever the tempo and stuff is. Or you can put it on magnetic or triple or dot. So this is more likely for your quantize, right? So if you do want to quantize, that would be the way to do it. Or snap. All right, so right here is a plus sign so you can actually add your stuff. It would be the same thing as doing an insert up here. Or if you right click down here, it'd be the same thing as inserting, right? So now you have an automation. This is your automation. So you can get to see your volume here. You can turn on and off your automation, I believe. No, you can see it and not see it. And you can change it to pan and mute is the other options that you have for your automation if you wanted to do that as well, right? And you can restore the track arm state. So if his track is arm, you can change them. This right here is pretty cool. You have your track options right here. So you can show your arranger, you can show the lyrics, you can show tempo. I thought that was really cool. So you only have one arranger. You can have your lyrics up here so it'll ride along with whatever the track you're doing. And the tempo can be changed on the fly as well, right? Show meter values is basically showing the meters. You see the numbers inside the meters. If you unclick it, it'll take those numbers away. It'll just be a meter. But if you want to see the numbers of where your numbers are actually hitting, you can show that there. You can resize them to fit vertically, all the stuff in here. So you have an option to expand folders and collapse folders as well. So yeah, so that's pretty much that. This is your master track, and you have your pan to left and right on your master track. So your master track will always be at the top, I believe. I haven't seen at the bottom or anything, but this is your master track. And if you double click it, you can put like your plugins down here. So if you have like a certain type of mastering you want to do, it's right down here. You can actually have chains as well. So different chains that you actually have. If you wanted to add them, this would be the place to do it, right? I'm not sure how to save, how to save a chain. That is one thing I was kind of looking for how to do, and I wasn't really able to find it, but I'm pretty sure there's a way to do it. Right. So if you wanted to say, let's just do cymatics for now. And let's say we do a Diablo light, right? So if you click on that, add Diablo light, here is the actual plugin, but you can actually have all the stuff down here to control it if you need to. So down here is kind of like what you can do inside of Bitwig, where you can kind of have everything just set up down here. And I believe this will relaunch it. Yeah, so this will relaunch the actual plugin so you can actually see it. And of course, you have your input knobs and whatever else knobs you need on there. And you can reset your parameters right here, really easy. And what is this bottom one? You can expand or collapse it. So if you wanted it collapse and you have a whole list of them down here, you can kind of expand and collapse them as need be, right? So I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm just gonna delete it off of there, and that's what you can do for effects, and it'll usually come down here in this section down here. And as you can see, when you click on monitoring, you have your inspector right here for your routing, and it's telling you what your, the master or what is it doing. So if you right click on the master on this section here, you'll get an option for your track colors. You can change your track icons to change it to whatever you want it to actually be, right? You can do your cut, paste, delete, duplicate, all that stuff in here. You could clear the section, undo, remove. So all this will go for any one of the tracks that's on here. You can insert from here as well. And basically that will insert on whatever track you have. I think that's pretty cool. And you have an option to bounce to new tracks, so you can actually bounce your stuff. And you also have your process to normalize down here as well. And if you click on like this little boom box here, if you right click on it, it'll give you an option to do a different icon there as well. That's an easier way to get to those icons if you want to do that. All right, so let's right click in here. Let's insert an audio track. And as you can see, I am on here. Check, 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 check. Mic check, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. All right, so it's really easy to record. You just hit on this little button here, and it'll give you an option. Oh, make sure it's red, and it'll give you an option to record. That means that the record arm is on. You can solo and mute. Your mute and solo are right here. And if you want to actually monitor your track, check. Mic check, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check, check, check. So this is how you can monitor the track, which is cool. And if you want to record, you just hit record. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. 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 All right. And as you see, it'll actually make a folder and start doing a comping kind of thing going on. I think that's pretty cool. It reminds me of kind of like FL Studio when they did that as well. But let's delete this. And I don't necessarily want a folder, but we have a folder now. And this is what it sounds like. Mic check 1 2 1 2. 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 All right. So we have that on there. So it's really easy to record audio, as you can see. Just make sure you have your settings set up correctly for your mic. So the next thing would be instrument tracks. So here's the instrument tracks. I thought this was really cool. You have the option for like built in, or you have VST3s, or you can just use BandLab stuff. So if I click on just BandLab, so this is all the BandLab sounds that are available. So if you wanted to use, so let's open up this Boom Bap Classic, right? So now, so I have them. So you have that option to use this as your drums. And if I click on here, you can see it down here at the bottom, and I can add effects to this. Let's say we want like a, let's go to all. Let's say I can use my classic clipper on here, and boom, I have my classic clipper. I don't need to actually see this up here. I can actually just use it right down here if I wanted to. All right, so let's see what we can come up with. Mic check 1 2 1 2. 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 All right, so now we have our little drum pattern on here. So if I double click it, it should bring up the piano roll. So now you can see the stuff down here in the piano roll. So I have my kick, snare, my kick and snare. So if I wanted to add, let's say a hi-hat, I can just double click here and it'll add a bar for the hi-hat. And if I wanted to remove one, I can just double click on it to remove it and double click to add it. So I thought, you know, really simple kind of thing you can actually do in here. If I hit this pencil, this will give me an option to draw. I can draw by, you know, the bars or dotted or triplets. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I can just kind of draw. So the drawing will let you kind of go either way you want to go, which is kind of interesting. And this right here is for the velocity. So you can see the velocities of all the hits that you've actually done. And in here is the automation. So if you want to do a pitch bend, you can do that in here. If you want to do channel pressure modulation, breath, I'm not sure what breath is, but foot pedals, volume, your balance, your pan, expressions, you can all do all that in here. And if you have a controller that does CC lanes, you can actually do the CC lanes as well. I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm gonna turn that off though. So pretty cool, simple, nice little layout that you have down here for the drums. And that was just the instrument track. So let's do another instrument. Let's see if we can find an actual sound. All right, so I'm gonna use this bell. So I'm gonna double click on that and it'll add the bell here, right? Let's go back to the beginning. I'm gonna hit R on my keyboard to start recording. Mic check 1 2 1 2. 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 Mic check 1. All right, so I was able to add the bell on here as well. So this is what that sounds like. Mic check 1 2 1 2. 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 Mic check 1 2. All right, pretty interesting. What I haven't been able to find out, let's say I'm on the hi-hats, right? And I wanted to say expand this or copy this and kind of move it over. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So it would be, it's not a right click because the right click brings up the menu. It's not a left click. Is it like control? Oh, okay. Here we go. Control to grab those. And is it control D to duplicate? Ah, there you go. We found something out. All right. So we're learning as we go along, as you guys can see. All right. So I'm going to pull this one back as well. So now we have a nice little 4-bar loop with some hi-hats in there. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check. All right, so let's start from this end. Control and do a box around this. If you hit Q on the keyboard, that'll actually quantize it to the grid. So that's one way to do that. So let's see how that sounds. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check. All right, and let's do the quantize for this as well. All right, so it looks like it's pretty easy to kind of move things around inside the piano roll. It is going to have to take some time to get used to how it's actually laid out. To do it, it's not exactly the same as it is inside of Cakewalk Sonar. Mic check 1 2 1 2. 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 Mic check. All right, so there we have that. So what's really cool is, you have your X sampler. You can use that as well. This is how the X sampler is exactly as it is inside of Cakewalk Sonar. Same setup. So if you do want to learn how to use this, I do have a video showing you how to use this inside of Cakewalk Sonar. It's pretty much the same exact thing, right? But what they don't have inside of Cakewalk Sonar is this, the pad controller. So you have an option to drag and drop sounds into these pads and actually use them almost like an MPC and kind of have your, your stuff going down on your pads and play them that way. I thought that was really cool. But the only drawback is actually getting the sounds in here. So like if you browse audio, right? So you have to kind of find, let's say a kick. Let's just do this kick. That's because it's there, right? So now I have my kick in here. So if I click on the kick, it's right there. But it does give you an option to kind of, do your kick and snare and hi-hat if you have that set up in here, which they don't have this option available inside of Cakewalk Sonar, which I don't understand. I don't understand why it's not a part of it. It's where you can actually do this in there. But we'll see. They may actually add it in there later. Instrument rack is, like I said, the same one from Cakewalk Sonar. And a folder track is the folder track like this, where it actually just makes a folder, and you'll have a folder that you can collapse if you need to or whatever, right? So pretty much that is it in a nutshell. If you guys want more Cakewalk Next videos, definitely let me know. If you need like any mixing and mastering services, definitely check me out at xelohh.com. On there I show you a couple of my placements that I have. I also show you some of the songs that I've released over the years, and also some graphics and mixing and mastering that I have on the site itself. Definitely check it out, and that's xelohh.com. But yeah, this is pretty much the end of this one. If you want to have more Cakewalk Next videos, like I said, definitely make sure you leave a comment below and put Cakewalk Next so I can show you a couple more things about this and actually setting this up. But yeah, but with that being said, that's pretty much the end of this video. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the channel. We're trying to reach that 20K. So yeah, let's get that done. And once again, it's your boy, X.E.L.O. Till next time, people. Peace.
AutoRewind.